We can go ahead and get started if you want to start asking Joey anything.
Okay, perfect. Joey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You?
Good, thanks. What were the past 2 months like? Up, down, up, down, up, down. Finally up. I guess past 6 months, really.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a roller coaster, but I feel like the guys is ready. We're all ready. We all know what we're here to do. And I feel like we're all on the same page right now. We're just ready to rock and roll.
From August 11th to, I think, September 16th, in that period when you don't know, how do you practice when you don't know that you're going to play?
It's definitely hard because you don't know what's coming. You don't know if you're having a season. But at the end of the day, you got to be locked in because you never know when it's going to happen or when your team's going to get called to play. So you just got to go into practice with the same mindset every day, being ready to play so you don't have to get ready.
But what did you do in that period, in that month to get better? And did you get better in that month when you didn't know whether you're going to play or not?
What I did, I really went deep into the playbook more because you never know. So I just studied a lot more, worked on my tape, worked on watching film, working on being more prepared. So when we do get that call, I'll be ready.
All right, Audrey, go ahead.
Hey, Joey, thanks for your time. I'm wondering how you think you're a different corner now than you were a year ago at this time.
Last year around this time, I thought I was ready. I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was ready to play. I thought I could be out on the field. And mentally, I wasn't. You know, I didn't really know the ins and outs of the defense as I do now. My body wasn't the same last year as it is now. I feel a lot better, stronger, faster. And I feel like I have a lot more understanding of the playbook. And that was a big difference between last year and this year.
And who kind of helped you through that process then, Joey? Because, I mean, it is a learning process and you're used to playing all the time.
Yeah, a lot of people actually helped me. My father helped me to, understand the playbook. The corner room helped me a lot. Castro Fields, the leader of the corner room, he showed me the ins and outs. Coach T, D'Angelo, our assistant, they all helped. They all played a big part of helping me understand and knowing the defense. So when I'm out there, I know what I'm doing.
Nubias Wellborn.
Hey, for you, Joey, was it a tough decision to decide to come and play amongst everything, or what was that process, and how did you get through the point of where you knew for sure you wanted to be back and play this season?
It was always will I be ready? Do I want to come back? But it was always, I want to play with this team. I know what this team's capable of, and I'm here to play football with my friends and family. So I was always ready. I was just ready for the green light, and we finally got it.
Bob Flounders.
Hi, Joey. Thanks for your time. I had a chance earlier this year to talk to Tariq Castro Fields and Terry Smith about you, and they all mentioned the same thing when they talk about your physical style. They talk about your length and your athleticism. What does that enable you to do as a corner? It's rare to kind of have your kind of length and athleticism. What kind of advantage is that for you? Do you feel like on the field, and how do you use that to your advantage?
I use my length and speed on the field for a lot of things, but mainly my press technique is it's difficult for receivers to get off the line towards me because of my length, and my speed is also a difficult thing for them. So around the whole field is a big problem for the wide receivers, I feel like.
Audrey Snyder.
Joey, kind of going along with your length, one of the things since you were recruited, everybody kind of said, we don't know if he'll stay at corner, if ever he'll move. Do you still feel like that's your best position, and you think long-term that's where you're going to stay at?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm a corner. I play like a corner. My technique is like a corner. And that's the position I love to do. And if I have move out of that position, I will. But right now, I feel like I'm at a good spot. So I feel like I'm good at this spot in this position.
Mark Wogenrich.
Joe, you said you came back because you knew this team, or you knew what this team was capable of. What is that? What do you think you guys are capable of?
I feel like we all have our mind on the same goal, and we all here for one job, and that's to win. And I feel like since we're all on that same page, that makes everything a lot easier. And we come together better, and we play harder for each other and for our coaching staff and our teammates. And that's the big part of what we got going on right now.
Tobias Wellborn.
Yeah, I know the focus is the first game, but how much when you look at that schedule in particular, you see week 2 and you realize what that could mean for your season playing a team like that potentially so early?
We really didn't think much. We really haven't really thought about it that much, or me personally. I know the team hasn't, because we're really focused on week 1. And we got Indiana, and whoever week 2 is, Ohio State, we'll be focused on them after we take care of business on week 1. And we're just going to go like that throughout the whole schedule, take every game one at a time.
Audrey Snyder.
Joey, when I was at your high school a couple years ago, you were telling me about film sessions with Dad back then and how they'd get pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Do you still watch film with him? And if so, what's that like?
Yeah, I still watch film with him when I have the time. I send him some of my stuff that I like for him to see or watch. And it's been great. He always gives me heads up on things I need to work on and off the field. And it's a plus that some players and some people don't get to have. And I take advantage of that to the extent I can.
Bob Flounders.
Joey, what are your impressions and what have you seen from a couple of young wideouts? Maybe you've had a chance to go against them either last year in practice or just maybe what they look like this year. John Dunmore and TJ Jones. I know that you guys are trying to, on the offensive side, you have Jahan Dotson, but there's a couple spots open. What have you seen from those guys?
Those guys are amazing on the field. They jumped from such a high ceiling from last year to this year. It's ridiculous. And there's a lot more guys. You got Washington, a young freshman that came in, Keandre. They're both putting a lot of great stuff on tape and film, showing that they're ready to play. And I'm proud for those guys to be able to compete at a high level so fast, because it's a really hard thing to do, and not a lot of people can.
Lauren Mulfler.
Hi, Joey. Sorry if you already answered this, but what has the competition been like in the cornerbacks room, and how have you guys been able to kind of navigate that over this off season with, the off season being so different than normal?
I feel like the corner room has been pretty good. I mean, we're all ready to play. We all compete at a high level because we all want the best for each other. And I feel like that's across the whole room, including even our leader of the room, Tariq, going all the way down to the youngest freshman in our room, Joe Johnson. I feel like we all on the same page on to get better and work hard. So with that being said, I feel like we'll all be ready.
Mark Wogenrich.
Joey, how are you like your father, and how are you different from your father?
I say I'm alike with him with his talking play style. I like to talk a lot just like him. And I feel like I play just as physical as him, or I can be just as physical as him. And different because I guess the position-wise, I feel like we're the same people, but just in different positions.
Audrey Snyder.
On a different note, Joey, the NCAA is allowing players to put social justice messages on their jersey this year if they want to. Have you given that any thought? I mean, what would you like to put on your jersey? What message would you like to make if that's an option?
I would like to put Black Lives Matter on mine because that means a lot to me. And I feel like all lives can't matter until Black lives do matter. And that's my opinion on that.
Tobias Wellborn.
Well, you segued right into the question. You got a career radio there, but for you, what has it meant to see that Coach Franklin has been so open to you guys being vocal, and what has that done just for your level of activism and social justice fighting?
It means a lot to know that our coach is on our side and to let us speak on how we feel about the situation. It just shows that he cares about how we feel and how the team thinks. And that's just nothing but bring the team together, because we all understand what other people are going through, and to be able to talk about it and be free to talk about it is a big plus for us.
Evan Patrick.
Hey, Joey. So I wanted to ask you about your family, specifically your sister and your parents, in founding the Jasmine Marie Center for Special Education. And I read that you plan on majoring in special education. And I just wondered how the experiences in your life leading up to coming to Penn State really influenced you to want to go in that direction.
Pretty much me just being around my sister my whole life and playing the big little brother role because she's a year older than me. It's been a lot. It means a lot to me and my whole family. And it just feels right to do that for my sister and for the other people out there that need help or like can't get the best help they can. So that's the main reason why I'm doing that.
Audrey Snyder.
Sorry, just going off of that, Joey, is that still your plan major wise, or is that, do you think you can make that work, or?
Yeah, that's my plan, and I'm gonna try to make that work to the best of my ability. And that's my goal, and that's the one thing I want to achieve right now. So like, yeah.
And what has,
I'm all in for that.
I'm sorry, what has your sister taught you?
She just taught me, about being more patient with people, being more loving and understanding. And not everybody has it as easy as the next person. So you just got to be more understanding and more loving and more caring. And that's the main thing she taught me. My parents did a good job of teaching all of us that to raise my little sister, our big sister.
Go ahead, Audrey.
Sorry. I don't know. I'm sure you probably saw the video about the number 0 that Penn State released yesterday. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like that's a cool new tradition that we brought to Penn State, and whoever we think at the team deserves to wear that number 0 should be able to wear that number 0 and rock it with honor, because they were the chosen ones to wear that number. And I feel like that's just another great thing that we have with this team.
Evan Patrick.
Yeah, and so going off my last question too, I read that you want to take over your parents' business and working with the Jasmine Marie Center. And so I guess from your perspective, like how did that come about, and how involved were you with your family and kind of helping get that started?
My mom had this plan since I was 6 years old when she first started her first daycare in Bakersfield, California, where we used to live. And ever since then, our whole family been involved with that whole process and that whole meaning to us and trying to help others, including my sister. So since then, it's been a huge part of my life, and I would love to continue doing what I'm doing with that.
Just a reminder, we're using the raise your hand function. So if you have a question, just pop up your hand and we'll get you called on. Go ahead, Tobias.
All right. Earlier I asked about like being vocal, but I mean, I don't think you guys have a more vocal guy than Lamont Wade. What's it like sometimes when you see a tweet from his, you're like, oh boy?
Um, I mean, I really don't think much of it. I feel like he's speaking his mind, and coach gave us the ability to where we could speak our mind. And I'm number proud of dude for doing that and be able to speak up in front of a big crowd and speak what's on his mind, because a lot of players are scared to do so. And that's nothing but big ups to him.
Lauren?
Joey, what's your relationship like with some of your classmates in the cornerbacks room? You know, guys like Ellis and Wilson and Hardy. You know, a bunch of you guys come in at the same time together. I mean, do you guys have a close relationship? Do you help each other grow, and if so, in what ways?
Yeah, those are my guys. We have a close relationship. We talk to each other every day, outside of practice, inside of practice. We try to help each other as much as possible, especially when one of us is down. We try to talk to them, and if somebody's having a problem with someone, we're always there for them, trying to figure out what's the best next move. And I feel like we're all on the same page of what we all want to do in the corner room, so we're all going to try to work towards that.
Gianna?
Yes. Hi, Joey. Also in relation to relationship, can you explain a little bit about like that relationship you might have had with Micah Parsons?
Yeah, he played a big role into my freshman year. He taught me a lot of stuff that I wouldn't think I'll be ready for, or put me on game to stuff that I didn't know I needed. And I'm nothing but proud of him. I'm glad that he did what he did. It was his decision. And just nothing for the best for that guy right there.
Rich Scarcella?
Thanks, Chelsea. Joey, if you went over this before, I apologize. But how difficult was last year? I know you got into 4 games, but I'm sure you're used to being in action. And how difficult an adjustment was that for you?
It was a huge adjustment. I thought I was ready to play. I thought that was my main goal coming in as a freshman, and be able to make a scene and make a difference into the team. And sometimes you're just not ready, and that's what I had to realize. And me and Coach Franklin talked about it not too long ago, talking about how I improved from last year to this year, and how I thought I was ready, but I wasn't. And when you realize that you're not ready, you just got to do what's best for you and the team. And that's what I tried to do last year, and now I'm ready this year, and I'm just ready to go.
Gianna?
Yes. So in terms, again, back to Mike a little bit, in terms of the defensive side of the ball, the connection he brought to you guys and just, on the field, off the field, in what ways do you feel like, this season and in the future, you're going to be able to sort of replace that and maintain that connection that he brought?
Yeah, I feel like the people that we have next up in line is ready to play. They've been ready to play. We recruit people that's ready to play. Michael was a great player on our defense, but I don't feel like we'll miss a beat because we got players that's going to step in and be ready to fill that role. And yeah, I feel like we have great linebackers that can do that. So we're not worried about that. We're not worried about that, I feel like.
Lauren?
Keaton Ellis is a local guy for us, so I was curious. I mean, what ways have you maybe seen him improve over the past year?
I feel like he improved a lot over the last year. His ball skills, him attacking the ball, his feet work, him being more physical than he already is. He's a ball hawk. He go get the ball wherever it's at, and that's a good thing. And I feel like he really improved from last year, which is amazing, and which is what is needed to this team.
Rich?
Joey, what did you learn about yourself last year, and obviously since you've been to Penn State, and how would you describe the importance of this preseason for you?
I feel like I improved a lot last year, mentally and physically. I feel like a whole new person, a whole different person. How I play on the field, my play style is different. And I feel like this preseason also helped a lot with that, because I have more time to reflect and like work on the stuff I need to really work on, which was my craft and my more of my mental. And I feel like with this preseason, I had enough time to do so.
Lauren?
What is one interesting thing about Keaton that people don't know that you think they should know?
One interesting thing. I'll say Keen's a singer. He doesn't say it a lot, but he's a singer on the low. He likes to sing a lot. Catch him every day trying to sing something. It's kind of funny when you catch him in the act. But yeah, that dude's a singer.
Rich?
Joey, how would you describe Marquise's personality and how would you compare it to yours?
I feel like me and Keith think a lot. I feel like we think a lot alike. We have that same mindset when we're on the field, get ball, see ball, and he done a real good job of doing so. And he taught me a lot of things to work on my ball skills even more. But other than that, I feel like we are always on the same page with each other, and he's a cool guy to be around, good friend.
Justin, go ahead.
Thank you. Joey, I asked Keaton about this too, and I just wanted to hear your thoughts. What areas do you feel like you really worked on or maybe made some changes to try to shore up that pass defense? Because there were some things last year, in the second half of the season that, you had some breakdowns and things like that. Where would you say you've made some changes, and what were some of the things you looked at on film last year that needed to be shored up a bit?
Oh yeah, I looked at the film a lot, and the main thing with us was drop passes. I mean, we missed opportunities to make turnovers where we needed them, and we've been working on that this whole offseason and preseason. So I feel like with us continuing to work on that, we're gonna make a big difference on the field this year, and that won't happen again.
Tyler Donahue?
Hey, Joey, thanks for the time today. Wanted to ask you about this cornerback class you came in with last year, Keaton and Daquan, and yourself, and obviously Marquise. How do you guys day-to-day push each other, whether it's the practice field, film room, workouts? How has that kind of made each of you sharper along the past year and a half?
We're all trying to compete. We're all trying to get that one. We're all trying to have that starting job. So we come in with our minds ready to work every day, trying to get each other better, because we know whoever he calls on will be ready, and keep doing that. I feel like the whole corner will be ready when that time comes.
Rich Scarcello?
Joey, can you describe or tell us what it was like to have a father who had the celebrity status that your dad had, who played in the NFL, obviously? And was it difficult to carve your own place? And what's the best piece of advice that he's given you?
It was amazing to have him as a football player, because he taught me a lot of the ins and outs that other people couldn't get. And it was kind of hard to carve my own name, because my name is kind of attached to him. I'm a junior. So getting those questions about my dad and being a lot about my dad was difficult at first, but I finally realized, like, I'm my own person. He's his own person. And to make that difference, I just got to continue what I'm doing now. And one thing he always taught me was just to always work hard and never let the man next to you beat you, because there's always somebody else working.
Tyler Donahue?
Joey, you guys aren't going to have Micah Parsons on the field this fall, but what kind of impact did he make on this 2020 roster? And you personally, what do you carry away from watching him go through the process of becoming an All-American last season?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can you say that again, please?
Yeah, you guys aren't going to have Micah Parsons on the field this fall, but what kind of impact did he still make within this defense that you guys will carry with you? And then you individually, watching him go through an All-American campaign during your freshman year, what do you take from that?
I feel like Micah brought a lot to the defense. He was a vocal leader on the field, and he made a lot of good plays. And I feel like the people next up could do the same thing. So I'm proud to see that happen. And to see him go off that year was amazing to watch. I'm happy for him. And that whole last year of him going crazy was a nice treat. And I feel like I could be the next up to do so.
Okay, we'll try to squeeze in Dustin in this last 45 seconds we've got.
Thank you. I wanted to circle back to something you said just about opportunities and takeaways. How much potential does this group, with all you young guys, have to do better in the takeaway department? How much playmaking ability is back there?
Oh man, we got a lot of playmaking ability in the backfield, and we just can't wait to show everybody. And I feel like we worked on it so hard and so much for so long that we're not gonna make that mistake again for that many drops, because we made a real emphasis this year to work on. So come October 24th, we'll see.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
No problem.